the truth.
You can't handle the truth. You can't. I can't handle all this volatility on the markets today. What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Arby Piper. This is the Piper Academy channel, and we are looking here at the green bubbles. A little bit of mix on the daily. Hourly getting a little bit of a pullback here on the markets overall, but I do think that we're going to see some volatility today. We're going to talk about that. Lots of volatility coming, actually. It has to do with stock market options expiring today, so we could see a lot of movement off of that. And then on top of that, guys, what has Bitcoin done when we had those expiry dates going on with options on stocks? It's typically pumped and then dumped. So we're going to take a look at what we could be seeing coming up on Bitcoin with that, how we can handle the volatility today. And then also we're going to talk about Ethereum, $7,000 Ethereum, question mark. Yeah, there's a nice article out there talking about all the way out to 2050, guys, $250,000 Ethereum. So we'll talk about that today. Not my opinion, not financial advice, but definitely some interesting on-chain analysis going on there. So we'll take a look at that. And then lastly, Circle, guys, hit $233 today. Currently sitting at about 219 right now. Looking really, really strong. We're going to break all this down and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. Guys, you know what time it is. Take your seats. Everyone take your seats. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Glad to have everyone here. Shout out to all of the alumni. Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host, and let's get this thing started. Let's get all the alumni in here. Actually, OC, let's go over here, and let's bring up our chat so we can see everyone, too. How you doing today, OC? What is up, my man?
Oh man, I'm just craving for this Friday. I think it's I need to take some time off. I think I'm gonna be going to watch the movies. But other than that, doing fantastic. Very excited. Yesterday I went into a flash. I think that was a 40-minute session on Trade with OC. I was not going to do it, but still did it at the last minute, and we changed a couple of things. We closed half of a position on one trade that we had opened, and today we have two alerts being hit. So far, doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain. I got some furniture yesterday, so I finally have a couch again. Got my new dining room table. Got some bar stools for the island. What else did I get yesterday? Oh, I got my new grill. Got a Blackstone flat top for outside, and then I also got a couple things. I got a TV credenza that's going to be going here in my studio, so I can sit down, decompress a little bit of video gaming. And overall, yeah, things are going great, man. Gypsy's getting settled in, trying to teach her how to use a doggy door. That's our new adventure with Gypsy. So. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and see who all we got in here. We got username in the house. Brokoshi No Dinero joining us here. Alexandra G, the mod queen extraordinaire, the LA Angel. How you doing today, lady? Appreciate having you here. Ninja Glock is in here with us. We got Duality C. Mike Play. What's up, Mike? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you being here, man. Daniel Barnes. Good morning, everyone. And happy Friday. Daniel Barnes, what's up, dude? I appreciate you being here, bro. Daniel Barnes, old friend right there. Buck, we got JR in here with us. Actually, that's JB, Hulk Smash. Appreciate you joining us on the live stream this morning. Dylan VA, Crypto Chef. We pumping or dumping? Both. That's my call today. We're going to do both. And then James Simpson saying, hey, Piper, what's up? What's up with you, man? How you doing? Fakir in here. Good morning, all. Frank the Tank. David Brumbelow, the Brumblebee in the house. I've been teleported in New York. The Otter Gang. He was over there with the Otter Gang. Appreciate all the Otter Gang joining us here in the live chat right now. Otter Gang. Guys, drop those otters in the chat and let them know that we show some love to them. We appreciate the Otter Gang joining us here. Who else we got in here? Let's get real quick through here and let's get into this news. Steve Hickey, what's up, guys? What's up with you, man? I appreciate you being here. Little Fish joining us. And then B Team Crypto saying, good morning, fam. Good morning to you. No angels in LA. Excuse me. Alexander G is in LA, Frank. I'm sorry. She is an angel and she lives in LA. She's holding it down. She's holding down the forces of good over there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news, guys. OC, we'll be back with you. Take a look at that Bitcoin. A shout out to CJ Taylor, my brother. From my mother right there, saying good morning to everyone. Appreciate you being here, guys. Let's go check out the news, see what all we got over here. Looking right now at the news on the total crypto market cap, guys, we're at $3.27 trillion right now. Trend on that median delta is about 3.949 trillion. We are currently undervalued at about 17.05. We are sitting at a 58% risk band on Bitcoin. This is for our Piper Plan DCA strategy available on our Discord. Guys, it's only $5 a month, and I give you weekly what your DCA should be looking like based on the wristbands and then the profit taking method also. All of that and more over there in the Discord. Bitcoin dominance currently sitting at 69.1% without them stable coins. Throw them stables in there, and you're looking at a 64% Bitcoin dominance today. Liquidations pretty low in the past 24 hours. In the past 24 hours, 65,986 traders will liquidate. Total liquidations coming in at $133.6 million. Largest single liquidation order. It happened on Binance. It was Ethereum. We're going to be talking more about Ethereum today, but it was a $1.45 million liquidation. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, guys, again, a little bit of red, mostly red here, a little bit of green, I will say. But on the daily, we're still looking pretty strong. SEI up 13%, KAIA up 18. They're looking at Bitcoin today. We are seeing that Bitcoin's at 105,737, up 1.3% on the daily. Let's take a look at how the alts are holding up, though, in comparison to this. ETH is up still 0.9%. We got XRP up 0.6, BNB is up 1, Solana's up 1.8. Any big movers down through here? Yep, everything's pretty flat until you get down to like 2.3s. That's still kind of flat in all honesty. The largest one here looks like 2.9%. It's H bar, still holding that 21 position though. Number 20 being held by Litecoin. Yeah, Chainlink's at $13. SWI is up 1%. It's at 283. 60 cent Cardano. I think ADA A's called Cardano to go, or ADA to go down to 50 cents the other day on the live stream. So we'll see where that is at. All right, let's go over here and check out the fear and greed index, currently sitting at 54. We are in neutral zone right now, meaning, hey, we could go up, cause some greed. We could go down, cause some fear. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, guys. New record was set, if you don't know, on national debt. U.S. national debt is sitting at $37 trillion. Don't worry, everything's fine here. There's nothing to see. Nothing to see. There you go. Shout out to Alex O. I see you there, bro. Thanks for pushing everybody over here, man. Alex O, crypto guys. Drop those Alex O otters in the chat, everybody. Show my man some love. I appreciate it. What else we going to talk about? Quarterly options. We're going to definitely talk about those. Volatility. We're definitely going to talk about those. Let's talk about this real fast. This is the volatility index. The U.S. Economic Surprise Index. Sorry, my bad. And what it is basically like, hey, things were projected to be this on economic data, came in at this. Things were consensus to be this, came in at this, right? And so this looks back historically at how accurate have the consensus and forecast been on predicting economic data reports. So PCI, CPI, PCE, the retail sales, the economic labor market data, right? And so what this is doesn't matter if it was good data or bad data. Did it come in better or worse? That doesn't matter at all. What they're looking at is was it a surprise or not, right? And so the economy is doing way worse than expected based on this data, because when they have these projections, that gets cooked into the market, right? So the Economic Surprise Index, the CC, measures whether the U.S. economic data is beating or missing forecast. It doesn't care if the economy is good or bad. It only cares about what expectations are versus reality. And so right now, the reality is worse than expected. Positive CC equals economic data is beating estimates. A negative CC equals that they are missing expectations. So remember, it's not so much about good or bad, just how accurate has the calls been. And then in the last few weeks, the CC has gone into free fall mode, and it's not one data point, it's everything: retail sales, industrial production, housing starts, jobless claims, consumer sentiment, all missing forecast and pushing the CC down. Guys, we haven't seen the CC down like this and just in this free fall mode since back in like May of 2024. So are we going to see this summer lull that we kind of seen last year where we go into June, July, and then we get our pump, right? We're almost into July. So are we going to see some more downside fall until we get there in July and then we get a rally? Very possible, especially if we're repeating the pattern here. Shout out to TradeFly. I see you, bro. I see you. The man in the sky, eyes in the sky, is in the house right now with us. If you guys do not follow TradeFly, go check him out over there on YouTube. He did a great show yesterday. I went back and checked it out. I missed the live, bro, but I went back and checked it out. It was a pretty good one. So, all right, let's continue on here. I just wanted to break that down. Let's talk about what's going on in the TradFi market this morning, guys. Currently, right now, Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell 2K are all up. NASDAQ barely up. It's up about 0.1%. Just lost it. It's now 0.09%. S&P is about 0.2%, and then Dow Jones just under 0.3. But the Russell 2K small caps are doing pretty decent today. It's about 0.45, and the VIX is under 20. That's a good thing. But I do think, again, we could see some of this volatility move that VIX up today and get us into a move. Why do I think that? It has to do with these expirations. Is that on here? No, that is not on here. First of all, I will go over this headline for you. Stocks are gaining as Fed Waller sees a rate cut soon. Yeah. Question mark. And then Trump delays the Iran strike decision for about 2 weeks. He said, we'll figure it out in 2 weeks. That's what he said. So let's go take a look at what I saw here at X marks the spot and talk about some of these things. Back it up. Back it up like you left something. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. So here we go. We're talking about this heightened volatility today. Why is that? Because there's about $6.8 trillion in expirations going on today for options for the stock indexes, ETFs, equity index futures, and individual stocks. And they're set to expire during today's trading session, which is also a Friday, the end of the week, right? This is potentially the biggest triple witching OPEX on record, according to Spot Gamma estimates. It's also going to be the first monthly post-holiday opening in at least 25 years. Furthermore, about 4.5 trillion in notional value of expiring options is tied to the S&P 500 index options, and about $1 trillion worth of those options are being tied to single stocks. It's a big day. So, guys, when those options expiring, they have this call of a price target, right? And so if they're higher or lower, market makers can move prices up and down trying to hit that, and it can just go into a bull and bear war. Really, it's not that they're bullish or bearish, it's just that they're trying to get that price moved to their target so that they can maximize their options expiring and get the biggest bang for the buck. So we could see a lot of volatility coming off of this today. Be aware. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's all we got to do, right? What else do we have here on X marks the spot that I wanted to talk about? There was that one, and then this one, which is also in that article, guys. Fed Reserve Christopher Waller says a rate cut could come as soon as the July meeting. This could pump a really good market because why? There has not been a July rate cut priced in on any market, in my opinion. This would be all new, and that would create some bullish sentiment. Taking a look here, and without blinding you, sorry about that. Looking here, let's refresh this. I want to see what we have for July 30th. This is our next FOMC rate decision all the way out in July 30th. Right now, guys, you guys remember this was pretty low. It was lower than 14.5%, and we're now seeing a 14.5% chance of a rate cut over a month out, 40 days out from that July 30th. So is Chair Waller accurate? Is he correct? Are we going to see a rate cut in July? As we get closer, we start to see these numbers move, and if we get a lot of hopium based on, hey, we might see this rate cut coming, we could see the market start to price this in and give us a really, really good push on the price. So That's when I got there. There was another thing. We'll talk about this in a bit. This is about Bitcoin's on-chain activity as a ghost town. Some problems there. And then, of course, we're going to talk about that Ethereum price. But let's go ahead, bring it over here, do a little reset, and then see who's in the chat. And then we're going to jump over and take a look at the Bitcoin chart there. So I don't know. OC, what do you think, man? We're going to get a rate cut in July. It looks like it might be being pushed in there. And if that is the case, we could see a market start to cook in some new hopium. So, what do you think about that, man?
I think it will be about time. Pressure is being there. I think Powell has have already settled a position where he says, "Yeah, I'm not doing what Donald Trump tells me to do, right?" But and I mean, he's been denying it, denying the petition of Donald Trump, even denying the demands of Donald Trump of the full point rate cut over and over and over. And I think this is where he can start giving out. So it'd be an absolute great timing, right? It's telling, hey, I am trying to protect the U.S. people, right? But also not based on what anyone else tells me. So motion denied, motion denied, motion denied, and then motion approved. Why? Because it's about time. So I think that also brings a statement. I am pretty confident that we're going to have something. Not sure if one whole point is going to be the answer to it. I don't expect it, but we'll see how that plays out. But I think I'm pretty confident we're going to have some sort of rate cuts. But we'll see. What
We'll
do you
see.
think
We'll
about it?
see.
Are we going to
I,
have a
I,
full
I
point?
Look, whether it happens or not, we're going to play the market the same way. We're going to do our DCA plan.
Okay.
We're going to do our trades where we can get our trades in and just really take a look at each individual chart, right? So, but if we start to see that move in that direction, saying, "Hey, look, better and better chances that we're going to get this," then I may go a bit heavier on some of my other purchases, my side purchases. So. Shout out to DDT in the chat, 2Dub in the house with us. I see you, lady. How you doing, 2Dub? Hey guys, you know all those emojis that you guys love to drop in there? Those come because we are a monetized channel. If you guys could all do me a favor, and I don't know if any of you are here that have not seen this from Alex though, but real fast before we jump into the Bitcoin chart, I want to hook my boy up because it matters. It always matters. He has been demonetized. YouTube has been mean to him and demonetized his channel. So I did post this here. You guys can just go to X, find this post from Alex O, and just comment on it and then also repost it. It's time to reinstate monetization for Alex O. He's a pillar of ethical market education in the crypto space. No scams, no hype, just clarity and integrity. We need more educators like him, not fewer. So if you guys can go and help out with that, it would be appreciated. Trying to keep Alex O in the game, man. They're trying to take him out. They're trying to take my boy out. All right, OC, let me go jump over to the Bitcoin chart, talk about what I'm seeing here, and then we will kick it back to you. Taking a look at Bitcoin right now, guys. We did get so I pulled this the other day. I think this was on Chart Hackers, maybe, where I was talking about this range here that we were in, and I pulled a fixed range volume profile coming off of that. And yeah, our low that we bounced on here yesterday on Wednesday at 1400, so I guess 2 days ago now, was right there on that value area low. We have pulled back above. You can see how much that green zone, that rectangle box of resistance that I talked about, a lot of volume sitting right there on that point of control off of that volume. There's a nipple right there. Oh, now they're going to come after me because I said nipple on the air. We are getting a pump up and breakthrough that. We are now above the dynamic reactor of Chart Prime's algorithmic moving average here. And it looks like we got a perfect wick onto that 887. That is the top of my platinum pocket. Beautiful wick right there on that thing and getting a bounce up. I think this is a good spot. We're still looking strong on the Oscillator Pro. Looks like money flow is starting to curve back up. That's that pink wave there that's coming back up now. True 7's coming up, and look at the volume. I want to show you guys what has happened here on the 4-hour volume. This is this pink and blue wave at the bottom. Let me bring it up a little more for you, and we'll bring this down. You can see here, we came out of the pink and we went into blue. What happened? Price went up. Came out of the pink, went into the blue. Price went up. Came out of the pink, went into the blue. What happened? Price went up. Now we are seeing this coming up again, guys. I think this is a good zone for a bounce, and I think we could be heading higher if the volatility does not wipe us out. And again, volatility today will be real. So, to be fair, if we go over and we take a look at this post that I dropped into Discord, where is our Bitcoin DCA strategy right there? Best days to DCA, Friday and Saturday. Here are two of the best days besides Wednesday. And so Friday and Saturday lining up here pretty well for the best time to DCA. Into Bitcoin. This could be a little pullback with that volatility and then a bounce. I would watch 104, 105 area. That's a point of control. If we do break down below that, watch there for a little bit of love at about 101, 881. Of course, we do have a CME gap sitting down at about 93,000. Keep that in mind too. But overall, guys, looking at the daily oscillators, we're looking nice and green here on the histogram. We do have the upward movement again. This is not the daily. You're in the 4 hour, sir. We are pushing up on the histogram. Sorry about that. Coming out of the saddle back upwards again. And typically when we do that, that's when we go up. Come out of the saddle, go up. Well, let me get it back there. There you go. Now you can see it. Nope, you still can't see it. Man, that price was down there. Right there. That was down here when that came up. So we're coming out of the saddle. We're pushing to the upside. Money flow is kind of flat right now and coming down, but I do think that if once we hit some levels of that 90, the 101, 881 maybe in that range there, we could get a bounce up. I want to ask OC, what is he seeing? Because these levels, there's several different variances of what the levels could be. We've seen 97, 92, again, 92.5, I believe that's that CME gap. OC, what levels are you watching here? Where do you think we could pull back to for these oscillators to reset and get that boost up there to the upside again? Because I do think that we have another upside move coming on Bitcoin. It's just a matter of when and from what levels. Kick it over to your chart and check it out.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I want to say is that do not lower your guard, right? We have a big body candle right now, and we've been exploring this movement since yesterday, right? So let's go and let me show you what I got on or what I'm aiming for. But also remember, do not lower your guard because I do expect a pullback before the movement to the upside. Why? That usually shakes out a lot of people and clears the path for a clean movement to the upside, especially for investors, right? So we were talking about a cricket bottom, which is very powerful, maybe head and shoulders. You'll say, well, what is the next shoulder? That is exactly what we were expecting or looking for on this either trend line or these previous highs in here. It seems like we went for the other shoulder. I also mentioned we could be having this very ugly shoulder, and the pullback or result of these head and shoulders could be somewhere between 102,400, and we had another 103 200 103.22, and then the next big support somewhere around 100k. So I'm aiming at 100k to be fair. Nonetheless, let me clear this up because we're live and I think we can back this up on video. We could be having, or I was expecting maybe a fast candle drop, right? So we're not out of the blue. Look at that correction that we're having, right? We could still go higher in here and retrace. In this retracement, going to the zero line could be taking us farther lower. Nonetheless, just for the time being, like let's just say this couple of hours, I'm going to be looking at the same areas of support: 103, 102, 700, 102, 500. All right. So those are going to be my areas for now support, but we could be moving fast. Do not make that same mistake twice. Like for example, in here, let me show you that as we went above the zero line in here, look at that big body candle that we have, right? Big body candle in here. We had a resistance in here. Big body candle as we were breaking to the upside, and well, who would have guessed that by not losing the zero line, we could still go lower, right? So not even at the top, not even at the bottom, right? You see that big movement? This is it. So remember, we might be able to have the same movement once again somewhere around here in this shoulder. So that's why I'm telling you guys to not lower your guard just yet. But the most important part that we're going to be looking into, it is this symmetrical triangle that we're forming. Basically looking for the support. We already talked about 103 500 for the support, and 107 600 for the resistance. I'm not going to be playing out the breakouts, but the retest. I do agree with you, Piper, that a next upcoming pump should be on its way, but be careful with those V-shaped recoveries that we might be having right before that pump. Turning it back to you, my friend.
Yeah, I want to jump over here and talk about these expirations because we typically, when we have the quarterly expirations of the options, that, like we're seeing today, this is all happening today. When we have this happen, it usually has a pump on Bitcoin, right? So let's take a look here and just zoom this in. Back here in the window of 2024, September 2024, we had one. It was about a 7% move to the upside on Bitcoin. We had about an 8.27% move on Bitcoin right after the one in December 2024. And then March 2025 had another one here about 6.68. Today, right there, June 20th, that's today, guys. We are sitting right here again. So what I want to point out, though, sharp decline right back down, sharp decline below where we started at, and then sharp decline after that. So I do think we could see a pump and then pull back to those levels. Guys, be aware, a lot of volatility in the charts today. So by the way, nope, you go back in there. Thank you very much. By the way, something that I'm seeing on one of my charts here. Yep, right there. Something that I'm watching on here, guys, is on the weekly Bitcoin. We did get a bearish divergence. It printed here pretty much at this top right there. Shout out to Chart Prime, that amazing oscillator here. But we did get this bearish divergence, and we had this, hey, this should be a pullback, right? I mean, let's take a look here at previous ones. We had one right here, and this moved to the downside after closing that. It was off that spike there. Guys, that was a move of about 20% to the downside. We had another bearish divergence print on the weekly, but we're holding really well in my target golden pocket. If you guys don't know what this is and you're new here to the Piper Academy, little education here in the classroom. If you pull a trend-based fib from market lows to market high to the next bear market low. So for example, this low to this high to this low gives a projection for the golden pocket up here. And overall, for the most part, we did have one outlier here back in 2017, but for the most part, we hit that golden pocket every single cycle. We are in the golden pocket right now. Okay. So we are in topping range historically as we speak. But I do want to point out that I've made the comment that if we can get in here and we can hold on this level here, this 618, and get that pump up from there, then we could be looking at higher highs and setting that anomaly like we saw back in 2017 where it broke the 0.66 GAN level, okay? We had this divergence, and look at our pullback. It is pretty much with the, we've wicked down below with liquidity grabs. Of course, we're always going to have liquidity hunters, right? But we've held very well at this level, which is about 104, 1035, 104 range. We're holding it pretty well. So, if this level continues to hold and we just range in here sideways, I will be absolutely okay with that, in my opinion, guys. We got about 70 people here on the live stream for YouTube. We've got about another 20 something watching us over on X. So shout out to everybody that's joining us right now. But if you guys haven't done so yet, smash that like button.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Got to pump those numbers up. Smash that like button, guys. It helps the algorithm. We are trying to grow something great here, so I appreciate all of you. OC, let's go take a look at some altcoins. I know we got some news on some altcoins today, so let's pass it over to you. Let's see what you got there, and then we'll get into your charts. What you got on the news today, Mr. News Forecast? Now we're going to pass it over for breaking news from OC Guy.
Thank you, Mr. Piper, taking it over. So I'm pretty bad at that, but let's take a look at something that is happening in XRP. You know, guys, that we've been talking about XRP. We need to be a little bit patient with XRP because we have a news in here. XRP will alert 58 million sent to Coinbase. Dumping incoming. We'll have to see. Remember that just XRP cleared and cleared what was it? I don't know, an issue that he had with U.S. officials. I think something in the court, but they cleared it up. That's why we had a pump in from one day to another. And yesterday, remember that we set up this entries and exit points. So now that we see this accumulation of money, well, I think let's find the best possible scenario for the storm, right? So the best possible scenario, look at that. We're already having some 10 in our consolidation score that tells us that we're about to break the consolidation, right? Like right now, like, I mean, within a couple of hours, right? It's not telling us up or down, but we have a hint in here. Very bearish, right? We are below dynamic reactor also, but also we need to understand that we are below or in a range. So, I mean, the next step that we were expecting was either a little retracement for an entry. That's not going to change. So we're only going to be factoring in the danger of that sellout that we might be having. All right. So what's the plan? If we pull back down in here, as long as we're still within the green and trying to push upwards, we're going to be entering. And as the price keeps going upwards, this is where we start getting some cautious, because as the whale sees that all of us enter low and start pushing market cap or liquidity into the asset, he's going to be entitled to sell, to hold as much as he can of the price. All right. So the plan still seems the same. The only thing that I need to tell you guys, move your stop loss quicker. All right. Not financial advice, but let's just stay on the safer zone of trading. Sorry, my dad brought me his new toy, and I think he's desperate to do some house remodeling. I just wanted to show you there. All right, we have other couple of news. Let me just present them to you because this talks about both a possibility for a new stable coin hashtag F Ethereum. I need to explain a little bit more. This is Ethereum. I'm expecting again a little pullback to this my areas of entry for the further continuation. I believe that this is a flat pause of bullish continuation, right? Even if we break to the downside, I believe that F Ethereum is gonna be, hey, welcome back ETH to my wallet. Nonetheless, we have a couple of things that I want to show you. For example, the top 10 projects chain by full diluted value. So what does that dilution means? Let me explain you just a quick way. What does that mean? Imagine that you have a token with a supply of 1 billion tokens, right? So let's just say that Ethereum, it's just 1 billion tokens, all right? Each token, it's currently $2, right? So right now, whatever token you have, it's $2, right? Now the full diluted value would be $2 billion because it's 1 billion tokens plus, I mean, times $2 each, right? Even if currently only 500, half of it, so 500 million tokens circulate, right? So current market cap will be of 1 billion. That means that we're having the price of, if we already had the full token release, right, by or times the current market cap, if that makes sense. That tells us that there is trust on those assets. All right, so fully dilution price means that there is trust on those assets, that they're going to be stable enough for long-term investments, right? Let me do a little bit of a quick analysis in here, because how do you use this data practically, right? So low gap between FDV, so basically fully diluted values. Very sorry, just my dog just keeps pushing that down to me. And market cap, like, for example, Ethereum, BNB, that they're basically fully diluted already, right? Come on, BNB, you got to be kidding me. But whatever. Seems like it's a strong asset behind it. Sorry. So no difference or low difference between the market dilution value and the actual current price of it usually says low risk of sudden dilution price crashes. So no big crashes, no big movements, nothing like that, but steady growth. All right. High gap between FDVs usually means that there is a high risk reward potential, but again, you could be losing a lot of money in that massive amount of volatility. So what does that mean? It means that Ethereum has a lot of trust on being stable and up for the future. BNB, again, investors are looking in for a long-term money investment on BNB. Again, that doesn't mean that the price is not going to be higher. That only means that the placing here might be much more influx of money and less leverage, which involves a higher confidence. And things like, for example, Chronos, all right, that the difference in dilution is big because this is just the top of those charts, right? The dilution of those ones are big. That means you have a higher risk reward, right? But you need to be aware that if they release a big chunk of tokens, the price might crash. So what would I suggest you? This is the top 10 projects chains fully diluted value. I think this is a little bit of a mixed bag because this is top 10, right? But a hyper liquid, not a bad token at all, but it has a big risk reward potential. And I don't know what is it said next to Solana. Solana has a smaller gap in BNB. I hate BNB. Nonetheless, it has trust on investors, right? So those are the projects that we might be able to invest, like, for example, Kronos, Stellar Lumen, Tonecoin, Tron, hate Tron, but again, it has real world value. Cardano, Sui, Hyperliquid, Solana, BNB, and Ethereum. So hashtag F Ethereum. So that's what I got here. Let me pass it over to you, and then I take on a link trade that we have open here in Trading with OC.
Well, since you talked about Ethereum, let's go ahead and talk about $7,000 Ethereum or $250,000 Ethereum. As you guys saw, we got this article here that I want to bring up and talk about it, guys. This is from Coinpedia.org. And they said Ethereum ETH price price prediction for 2025 and then 2026 through 2030. They go all the way out to 2050, actually. How high will Ethereum go? Let's go down here and talk about this. The escalation of tension caused by the Israel and Iran war had sent shockwaves across most cryptocurrencies after facing a brunt from the liquidations. Ethereum's current price sitting around $25.50 with an intraday price at the time of the producing this article writing increased by about 0.65. Okay. So how much is one Ethereum right now? About $2,500 in that ballpark, right? High price Ethereum, $3,000. Average price $2,750 is what it has averaged for this year so far. But let's look at 2025 price prediction. What they're saying here. Ethereum price has been trading in a symmetric triangle pattern since early 2021. A breakout could lead ETH to smash the $5,000 mark, hitting a new all-time high of $59.25. So, you know, FETH OC, you might want to rethink that. And then conversely, rising uncertainty for any unfavorable global economic events that could pull ETH price towards its annual low of 29.17. That being said, it could average out around 3,300 for this year. Okay. But it goes on to talk about some levels in here for 2026. By 2026, the value of Ethereum is expected to reach a high of about $6,610. Remember, its all-time high is around $4,800, right? So on the other hand, the Ethereum price might drop to $55.66. Averaging price out in 2026 of about $5,713. Moving on to 2027, they expect the price to make a new all-time high of about $87.05. However, a correction base on the market shortcomings may drive ETH crypto to about $6,800, averaging for the year about $72.46. Moving into 2028, they're looking here at a dominance level of moving up, dominating the crypto market as it potentially makes a new high of about $10,400. Low side 86.13, averaging about 94.82. Moving into 2029, $12,994 for its all-time high, and then surpassing that psychological barrier of about $12,000. In case of a correction, ETH may reach a level of about 10,192 with an average of about $11,111. Whole lot of ones there. As 2030 comes along, guys, on this prediction lineup, they are talking about a projected new all-time high of about 15,500 ish in 2030, with a low of about 12,647 and an average price of about 14,163. So these numbers here, I don't really feel like they calculate in about a crypto winter. If you believe, if you buy based on the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, the halving event, and so on and so forth, we do typically have a crypto winter. We always have. So nowhere in here do I see room for that prediction. So keep that in mind. That's already a bias in place that I can see in this, doing a little bit of critical reading, critical analysis there. But if we go down and we take a look at what they're talking about in 2050, man, potential high for 2050, $250,000 Ethereum OC. I want to point that out. I think that's a little overzealous. There. But if we're taking a look at this 2030 lineup, guys, they still think that Ethereum is going to continue to be the coin. And you just showed that on your chart there on the confidence levels that exist on Ethereum. OC, what do you think? Are we going to see a $15,000 Ethereum in 2030? Or is it going to be another 5 years of massive upset? And then ultimately 2050, we're talking 25 years from now, when I'm in my 70s, living in a veteran's home, broken down somewhere, am I going to be looking at Ethereum going, it's $250,000 a coin, and I used to own 100 of them before I sold it out for Bitcoin? What do you think, man? Let's hear your breakdown on this. Price prediction videos, I hate doing them, but I will absolutely break down articles that talk about it. What are your thoughts on this? Please tell me that I didn't mess up selling my 100 Ethereum and trading it over into Bitcoin back when it was around $3,000. Let me know.
No. Of course, I don't think that you have so. I think Ethereum, and please hold me accountable for this. All right, I believe Ethereum has a big flaw. Yeah, which is, and I've said this from the beginning, the going from proof of work from proof to stake. I think that at the beginning was kind of like a big deal, but again, how do you tie it to real world assets, or real world spending, or real world connection to it? So just by holding it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, where's that incentive? I would say to spend real money to get Ethereum, right? Which for me, that's mining. I know it's not environment safe, but you really want to talk about environment? Stop taking airplanes, right? Tickets, walk it all the way to Europe. For a thought. But other than that, can you bring back, if you still have it, the price prediction from this year, 2025?
Yeah, 2025. They're talking about a potential high of $5,925.
And the average potential?
43.92.
There we go. 43.92. So let's imagine that they're okay, that they're in the ballpark, right? Again, you just called out for a bias, which I also see here. But if we call for that, I would not be looking at full prices. I would be looking at average, and then not sell or not trying to buy below full all-time highs. Because remember what happened when everybody was looking at the Bitcoin stock to flow chart, right? Everybody just waiting for Bitcoin to blow up, and then it went to the bear market. So we don't want to get there. My price prediction would be, I do believe that we're gonna get a little bit below that prediction, and not that that high. I don't think 5,000. I think it's gonna be something like 4,000. Not that far away from where we are. But something important is that we are currently below the average price. So as long as we are below the average price, I think it's a good zone to buy if you believe that the average is going to be that one, right? Or at least if you believe that their highs are going to be somewhere near to your 4,020, yeah, right? Challenge, Coindex, Binance, 4,012. So right now we are at 2,000. What is it? 2,509. So we're way below the average. And as you have seen, I believe that this is a flat pause bullish continuation. So maybe might be thinking of rebuying some Ethereum. That's what I would
Maybe.
say.
Maybe it might be its time. I just want to point out Ethereum traded at about $1,900 for almost an entire year of last cycle, and then all of a sudden just shot up out of nowhere. But that was also a proof of work network, not a proof of stake. Shout out to Crux
Yes.
of Crypto in the chat. I see you there, bro. The hell you say my mining operations are environmentally friendly? Buck says. Hey, if you guys don't know, Buck's killing it on the mining front, man. He's got that man's got big goals, dreams, and ambitions. So shout out to Buck. All right, OC, what do we got? We got about 10 more minutes before we go kick it over to Crypto Princess. She's going live today, so we're gonna push over to her today. But let's talk about that chain link. You said you got some link calls. We're talked about a crazy number on Ethereum. Is it $800 chain link? If you know, you know. Much love, Buck. Much love, Crux. OC, let's go take a look at chain link and see what you got over here. I bet it's not $800 chain link. So let's go.
More like, let's say a couple of zeros and divided by 5. I would think that maybe that would get somewhere around the ballpark, but pretty close, I would say. All right. So, looking at this, what we see it is that we took an entry right here somewhere or at 1283, right, somewhere around that area right here as it went down. We were expected to take 2 entries, and I don't know why this is so crappy. But let me just make this how it is supposed to be. There we go, a quarter. But do not get deceived. I changed these numbers yesterday because I decided that I'm going to be taking right there yesterday half of my gains. So we were in for one half of an entry here and then another half of an entry here, but the time was ticking. The only thing is it is that we are already on the green cloudy here, and we're not seeing that bursting action through the 0 line. And of course, our prime score is still as 1, right? So I wanted to see a big move like this to my dynamic reactor, and we're just not seeing that, right? So time is ticking, and I don't want to be involved on that much of that risk, right? That's why we took 50% out right here at this stop, giving us for a quarter, and whatever we took out, we placed it in the place in here on the instead of the 1/2 that we had. We took that half, and then we put whatever we took, we put it in here. So basically, we cut in half our risk and took some money out. So basically, right at this point, we are no gain, not loss. Even if we go to 12.19 areas. So not looking bad, but be careful because once again, I'm expecting that sudden V-shaped recovery. And if that happens, we have another point in here, but we're not above the 0 line. That's what I'm seeing on Chainlink. So that's what I got. I also have a live story. If you want me to share it, let me know. I show you today in the morning what I got. I thought it was hilarious, but maybe we need to make a room. Is it LBC in the chat?
I don't know if LBC's in here or not. He might be working right now, but tell your story.
Not for this
Tell
one.
tell your story, and then I want to talk about this on-chain risk levels because we talked about it earlier in the week before this news article ever even came out. Before Glassnode, I showed you guys on the crypto risk indicator that there was some on-chain risk. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, what's your story? Story time with OC. What you got for us, bro?
So basically, yesterday we went to a supermarket and I stopped by the toy section. I got myself a Star Wars little miniature. Love it, this Full Metal one. Love it, but also and also I was walking to MJ. She was looking at some house cleaning stuff like nice soap, hand soap, and stuff like that. And she looked at me and she was like, "Dude, are you stupid? Quit it." Why? Because I went in. Wait. With a blonde hair, of course, like this one. And she said, "Are you stupid or what?" And I'm like, "Really? Does that look that bad?" Yes, grab the blue one that matches with your scholar skin, bro, not the blonde one. What are you talking about? I just laughed so hard, man. There were like five other people around us, and they were like, look at this crazy guy, right? So, LBC, you're not taking a
Super
screenshot of this?
Saiyan.
Not for now.
You are Super Saiyan
There we go.
OC. I love it.
Oh, dude. So every time that we nail the trade, I'm gonna use it instead of tinfoil hat. So I don't know. Let me know, guys, if that fits my Pantone color scheme tone.
Average Crypto Joe asked, "What is the deal with the number by my name?" It's a new thing that YouTube's doing, bro. It's like an engagement tracker. You get experience points for engagement in the chat. So the more you chat, the more your experience, the points go up, and then you're number one. I think you're number one. You are number one. There you go. You're the number one person in chat right now. Alexandra G. Evidently, I don't know why. You should be number one. You are the most active person in our chat all the time. So. All right, let's go talk about this on-chain metrics stuff real fast, guys, before we head out of here. So on-chain metrics, I talked about this earlier in the week on our crypto risk indicators. Summary was looking good, price was looking decent, but we were starting to get into some neutral zones and getting over towards, those more reddish areas. And I said, something's going on in the on-chain metrics world. Well, later on in the week, we get an article on it talking about, and this is actually not an article, this is from Insights from Glassnode, an on-chain ghost town. Despite Bitcoin's elevated price, a clear divergence has emerged between market valuation and network activity. In this report, we explore the investor activity across both on and off-chain markets and examine how network metrics have changed the cycle. Let's go in here and take a look at this executive summary. We'll just touch on this, and then I'll show you the article that came out on it too. Network activity shows a decline in transaction count, but a rise in the settlement volume, pointing to an increased usage by large entities. Guys, pay attention there. Increased usage by large entities. While fewer transactions are being broadcast, the average transaction size has grown significantly, indicating that institutional or high net worth participants are becoming more dominant in on-chain activity. Fee pressures remain subdued, meaning miners aren't making a whole lot with minimal demand for block space despite Bitcoin trading near all-time highs. This presents a notable divergence from previous cycles where periods of elevated price typically coincided with fee spikes due to congestion and heightened network usage. Right now, we're seeing a lot less of that. And what does that mean? It means that while, yes, there's some issues on the on-chain metrics, guess who's buying all the Bitcoin right now, primarily, guys? Whales. Despite this overall slowdown, larger average transaction size suggests that the use of the base layer by whales is becoming more dominant. So, OC, let's talk this out here, man. We're seeing average crypto Joe, okay, your average crypto bro, not buying and selling as much. I think you got a lot more hodling going on Bitcoin, but the people that are really doing the transactions the most on the markets, they're not doing a whole lot of transactions. They're doing big transactions all at once, and that is these institutional buy-ins by companies to add it to their sheets. It's ETFs, swaps back and forth. What does this do to crypto winter for Bitcoin? Because I think that if you have this, every time there's a pullback, there's massive buy-ins taking advantage of that price. Do we start to see the crypto winter lessen more and more? Average 70% pullback on the markets. Are we looking at maybe a 30% pullback for Bitcoin? And we've already seen what's happening with alts. A lot of alts right now are closer to zero than they are their all-time high, while Bitcoin holding very strong in some key support levels. I would like to hear your thoughts on this before we head out of here.
That is absolutely what happens. I mean, it's just like the bubble with the dot-com bubble, right? At the beginning, and this is where we have low market cap and everything is just blowing. As long as they had .com, right? As long as they had the crypto logo in it or a crypto name, it just popped out. That was last cycle. Do not make the same mistake in the .com bubble, because right now we're still seeing institutions, right? So Microsoft is not going to be buying a www burstmybubble.com, right? When he can buy www.microsoft.com, right? If that makes sense. So I believe the same thing, just in a different perspective we're having. We're seeing that influence on market cap with digital gold. Another important thing that happens with valuable assets is like when you look back at big companies and you see, for example, how much gold an asset holds or an ETF of gold it holds. Well, that is not that he bought it just recently. It came out of nowhere, right? They start buying it over time, and they accumulate it an everyday basis, right? Or everyday basis. What does it do to, well, just to finish this idea, this is what happens with, once again, what happened with fiat. Who's got fiat, right, at this point? Who accumulated fiat, right? Who used to not have a bank and now it's owners or giving away money to countries. So just so you know that. Now, going back into your question, what does it adds to the bear market? Of course, like remember the stock to flow chart, right? I don't think the price is exactly correct, but the shrinkage on the price volatility is absolutely correct. Over time, as more market cap we push into, the more market cap you need to dump it, and the more market cap you need to pump it. So that's why when we look at cycles, in between cycles, we look at the logarithmic. So I absolutely agree with you on that. So next possible bear market might not be a 70% correction, but it will absolutely be 3 or 4 times amounts of money, orders of magnitude, not by percentage, but by zeros on the dollar, if that makes sense.
It's interesting you brought up the .com bubble because I actually just had this up on X and I wanted to bring this up. U.S. technology jobs are declining. Information technology jobs in San Francisco, northern Silicon Valley, fell to 107,700 in April. It's the lowest since June 2020. I don't know if you remember what was going on in June 2020. But we had a global pandemic going on and the national lockdown. A lot of people losing jobs, so much that they pumped out trillions of dollars in stimulus. You know, hey, don't worry about that. We'll kick it down the road. Since August 2022, the industry has lost 25,400 jobs, or around negative 19%. By comparison, after the 2000 .com bubble, the tech industry lost 29% of its jobs in 18 months and did not start to recover until 11 years later. Furthermore, the professional, scientific, and technical services industry job numbers fell to 207,000 in April, the lowest since June 2020. Also, and since June 2022, these industries have recorded 21,600 job losses, about 9% total. So, interesting comparison there of .com bubble 2020 and what we're currently seeing in the tech sector. But .com bubble. I think that we saw the junk fall off and the solid companies made it through. And I think that Bitcoin is going to stand strong amidst the wilting crypto market. There's a lot of junk out there, man. Garbage, total garbage in the crypto space that does not have room to grow when Bitcoin's taking all the nutrients out of the market. So, guys, remember volatility today. I definitely think we're going to see some. We've got those expirations going on all day long. By the way, Circle is sitting at $224.50 right now. So if you guys got in on Circle when we talked about it, which was 2 months ago, we were talking about the IPO launched at $31, up to $224 today. Shout out to Daniel Barnes. That is one of my homeboys from the military. So good to see you there, Daniel Barnes. Appreciate you joining our community. He stumbled across our stuff and is now here with us. He's joined the alumni. So shout out to Daniel Barnes. Everyone give him a warm welcome in the chat. Glad to see him here. And then Bobby Wong, I know you're watching this later while you're working out because you always watch it afterwards. Shout out to you, Bobby. Appreciate you too, man. Everybody, we're going to be back here Monday morning with the whole week ahead, what's going on in the market. So make sure you guys come back and tune in there. Catch OC later on today with OC Trades Live. And then Sunday night, you're going to have Lunar Beaches kicking off the Asian Market Open on Sunday for the Monday market. It's going to give you a lot of insight on what's going on into the week. And then BC Port Corp with Good Morning Crypto, setting up the ball for me to spike it right afterwards. So all right here on the Piper Academy Network, OC, I'll see you in a bit over on Chart Prime's TA Plus session with our private members over there. And for everybody here in the community, you guys have a great weekend. Go touch some grass. I'm going to try to go buy some more furniture because the wife wants the rest of the couch that we got. We got 2 pieces of a sectional, and it's a really long couch, but now she wants the full sectional. So I guess I'm moving a couch. If you guys saw the room I'm in, this is not what it looks like in this room. I'm sitting in chaos surrounded by boxes, so I'm going to be unpacking some stuff. Appreciate all you guys. We'll be back here Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the damn subscribe button, people, and share this with a friend, because sharing is caring. We're about to go head over to Crypto Princess's show. She's live, and we're going to go show some support, drop the alumni graduation caps from the emojis when you get over there. Guys, have a great weekend. OC, much love. See you in a little while. And all you alumni, we'll catch you Monday morning. Trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. You guys have a great one. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Even when we're dead and gone, we'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low.
I pump those numbers up. Those are wicked numbers in this racket.
The ZTS rhythm. Rip it. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.